Right, I'm back down on the Syndicate. Today I'm fishing with Graeme Mabey, who's an angling coach for 4Life Experiences. I've been coming down during the week to see where the fish have been showing, and the majority of the fish are holding up at about 140 yards. That's why I've got this guy with me, because he's a master at extreme range fishing.
I wouldn't say I'm a master at it, Chris, but I do like chucking the leads, yeah. Well, like chucking leads, but more importantly I like chucking solid PV bags. I'm hoping that the fish in here are going to respond to some big solid PV bags. I've already seen fish since we've been standing here doing this piece to camera. They've been topping out there, and it's looking really good. I'm hoping to get a few of the scaly ones on the bank, and hopefully you'll catch a few as well, Chris.
Nice one, mate. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, sounds good. Nice. Here we go, first fish of the session. Real pretty coloured common carp here, nice dark in colour. Mint condition, the sun's shining, it feels like the first session of spring. And after about half an hour, the rod just twitched a couple of times, and I was just about to go out the clip when I got to it, and that's the result. So a nice, probably about 14 pound I'd say. Really nice fish to start the session. We're going to slip it back, get the rods out, and hopefully have a few more as well. Just thumping around out there, it's not really doing too much, just sitting out at range about 100 yards out, just going up and down at the back of the bars. There we go, nice scaly chunk. Still early in the session, real nice fish. Put up a hell of a fight. Took out a few of the other rods as well, but we're going to weigh her, see how big she goes, and then get her back to fight another day. But a good start. There we go, 28, 28.6.
Not going to hang about, is she?
No. Cheers.
There we are, what a cracking mirror, just to follow up Graeme's fish. Unfortunately we managed to take most of the rods out. Well, we caught these two, but well worth it. A couple of really nice fish. Haven't weighed mine yet, but lovely fish, really pleased with this one. Let's get him back.
Okay, we've just come over to the rod and reel setup that I've got here, because where I'm long range fishing, it's different than what I'd normally use. I've got some spare spools. It's always worth having some spare spools for your reels. These ones here are loaded up with my distance fishing line. Spooled up to the absolute max. You've got to remember, if you're looking at this spool here, this is after it's out at about 130 yards out there. It's still more or less up to the lip, so always spool your reels up. Using a bucket, put the spool in a bucket, keep it nice and wet, spool it right up to the max so it's actually overflowing the lip. I've got 8 pound line on here, fishing with a shock leader, so I've got a tapered shock leader going from 15 pounds up to 30 pounds. I think they're about 9 yards in length, and then I've got my rigs on the end of it. Rod wise, I'm using 13-foot rods here. The casting tools are absolute machines. They're meant for long range fishing. They are quite soft in the tip as well, so it means I'm not pulling out a fish. For some people out there, you may be thinking, oh my god, he's using 8 pound line and 13-foot casting rods. The trick to this is having balanced tackle. Now when I'm teaching and coaching, we're always talking about balanced tackle. I've had no problems whatsoever playing fishing on 8 pound line and these shock leaders and these 13-foot rods, and I'm sure that Chris will justify that. At no time have I thought, oh my god, you know, the line's going to snap or anything. You do have to be a little bit careful before you cast. You always want to get your leader knot and you want to bed it in on the spool at the bottom of the spool. So you basically peel line off and then you wrap it back around so the leader knot comes at the bottom of the spool there. That's really important, so when you're casting it's going to come off nice and neatly and it's not going to catch and frap around your butt rings there. And yeah, that's about it. Have a good scrap. The fish just seem to be picking the rods up and then kiting across that island. And they put up such a good account for themselves here. I think the clear water, they just get the mindset and they're just disappearing off down the island. He's trying to take line. He's about 100 yards out at the moment. We've been fishing at extreme range with PVA bags, just the left-hand side of the island. The fish have come on the feed. We've got a cracking fish here. It's got a few leeches on there. It's quite cold to touch. It's obvious it's just woken up from its winter slumber. Just taking a few leeches off the fins, and it's an absolute peach. Cracking fish. Some of the fish in here have got scales all over them. Some are more leathery, and this one is just a classic British mirror carp. Beautiful fish. Look at that. Not quite sure of the weight, probably around about 26 pound I'd estimate, but an absolute beauty, so I'm over the moon with this one. We're going to weigh her, get her back, make sure she's all cleaned of leeches and let her enjoy her summer. Tell you what mate, I think it's dead on, bang on 26 pound.
Told you. Yeah, I'll give you 26 for that. Well done mate.
Nice, thank you. Had an absolutely cracking fish here, 26 pound 12. Fought like a tiger. Thought it was a catfish to start with. It wasn't a catfish. It was this beast here. Real nice scaly fish. Over the moon with the quality of the fish that we've been catching. And again another upper 20, so well chuffed. Let's slip it back. Good morning everyone, we're here this morning on the second day fishing with Chris. Had a really good session so far, fishing big solid bags that are glugged up. Chris is going to show you those in just a second, how we tie those up. Today though, we've seen some fish showing out there, the wind's dropped off a bit. I'm going to go for a little bit of a different tactic, and I'm actually going to start spomming out quite a bit of bait. I think they've woken up from their winter slumber, so I'm going to spom out some bait. I've got the large spom, I've also got the new little mini spom here. I'm going to put out quite a few, probably around about a dozen of the larger ones, and then throughout the morning just keep topping it up with the small spom just to keep the bait trickling down through the water columns. I've switched over from the solid bags to fishing a zig and also fishing 2 choddies out there in quite a tight area, and we're going to see how those go. But it's been great so far, really enjoying the session. We've had some cracking fish that I'm sure you'll see on camera, and hopefully we can catch a few more later on.
Right, I'm just going to talk you through the rig that we're using on this session. It's pretty straightforward. We've got a 1.5 ounce inline lead down to a 3-inch supple braided hook link, a size 8 hook with a 6mm unflavoured pop-up, which has got a little snot under it just to hold it on the deck and stop it lifting the hook up unnaturally. I say a really short hook link, very small bait, pretty standard for sort of solid bag fishing. The mix that I'm using inside the bags is the individual baits high attract carp mix. I'm putting some of that into a bait tub, and then I want to get some oil into it. Lots of little particles in there that the oil is going to want to bind to, so I'm adding the chili hemp oil. You can just imagine when that bag goes out there, any sort of movement, any disturbance, there's going to be loads of oil coming up, and what we're getting slicks over the bags just before we get a take, and we can almost call the takes on this session, which is just fantastic. So I'm going to cast it back out again. Hopefully we can get another fish, and hopefully I can get in amongst the fish as well, because Graham's running away with it at the moment, but let's get on with it. Right, there we are, lovely golden common. Managed this one at the end of the session. Thought Graeme was running away with it, but managed to pull this one out the bag. Really pleased. Right, we've come to the end of the session. It's been a really good result, hasn't it, mate?
It has, yeah, it's been a fantastic result. I think we've had 20 fish between us, I think, something like that. Up to 28, was it? Something like that? 28 and a half. Yeah, really nice fish. Nice and warm, feels like the first day of spring. All the hatches are happening. Yeah, I'm looking forward to spring and summer now, Chris, aren't you? Yeah, definitely. Hopefully the fish will start waking up and they'll start getting on the feed properly, and I say catches like this won't be out of the norm. Yeah, it'd be nice rather than freezing ourselves to death on the banks like we have been all winter. So
definitely, mate.
Be nice.
We'll catch you next time. See you later.
Take care.